I once saw something that completely changed the way I look at crowds and bystanders. I was walking home from work one evening. It was around 7 p.m., just after sunset, and the streets were still busy. People were leaving restaurants, some were waiting for buses, and a few were just walking home like me. Everything felt normal, until I heard shouting. At first, I thought it was just an argument. In a busy city, that's not unusual. But when I looked across the street, I saw two guys surrounding another man. The strange part was that the man looked completely confused. He wasn't yelling back or acting aggressive. He just kept saying something like, "Hey, I think you've got the wrong person." But the two guys didn't seem interested in listening. One of them suddenly shoved him hard. The man stumbled back and almost fell. People nearby started slowing down to watch, but nobody stepped in. Everyone had that same look, the look people get when they're not sure if they should help or just stay out of it. The guy who got shoved raised his hands and tried to calm them down. He said, "Listen, I don't know you guys. There must be a mistake." But the second guy suddenly punched him in the shoulder. That's when the crowd started getting uncomfortable. Some people pulled out their phones. A few people whispered to each other. But still, no one actually stepped forward. I remember feeling frozen for a second. You always think you'll know what to do in situations like that. But when it actually happens, everything feels strange and slow. The two guys started accusing him of something. I couldn't hear every word, but I caught things like, "Don't lie. You know what you did." The man kept insisting he had no idea what they were talking about. He looked genuinely scared now. Then one of the attackers grabbed his jacket and pushed him against a parked car. At that point, a few people in the crowd started shouting things like, "Hey, relax. Call the police." But the attackers were still convinced they had the right guy. The man looked desperate. He kept repeating the same sentence. "I think you've got the wrong person." And then something unexpected happened. A guy from the other side of the street suddenly ran toward the crowd. He looked panicked. And he yelled something that made everyone stop. He shouted, "Wait. That's not him." Everything froze. The two attackers looked confused. The guy ran up closer and pointed down the street. Then he said, "The guy you're looking for just ran that way." There was a moment of complete silence. The attackers slowly looked back at the man they had been hitting. And suddenly you could see it on their faces. They realized they had made a mistake. The two guys let go of him immediately. One of them muttered something like, "Sorry, wrong guy." But it didn't sound like a real apology. Then they both took off running down the street, chasing the person the other guy had pointed out. The crowd slowly started moving again, like everyone had just witnessed something awkward and didn't know how to react. The man who got attacked just stood there. He looked shocked. His jacket was dirty, his hair was messed up, and he looked like he was trying to process what just happened. Someone asked him if he was okay. He just laughed nervously and said, "I guess I just had really bad luck today." Eventually he walked away. The crowd dispersed like nothing had happened. But the whole situation stuck with me. Not just because a man got attacked for no reason, but because dozens of people watched it happen, and nobody really stepped in until it was already over. Sometimes I still think about that moment. And I wonder how different things could have been if someone had spoken up earlier.